Ladies and gentlemen, the Endure Entertainment Television Network proudly presents to you television talk show host V. Mayo, aka Mo Thoughts. Mo Thoughts is the television talk show host for her television show, Hot Chocolate Conversations with Mo Thoughts. Hot Chocolate Conversations with Mo Thoughts is so much more than just a television show. It is a safe place where anyone can come and feel right at home. Hot Chocolate Conversations with Mo Thoughts will prove to be inspiring, reflective, and refreshing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ourselves ready for some Hot Chocolate Conversations with the one and only Mo Thoughts.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, V. Mayo, aka Mo Thoughts. I want to thank you for joining me on another edition of Hot Chocolate Conversations. I am your host, V. Mayo, aka Mo Thoughts, and I want to thank you for tuning in with me today on this wonderful Friday. And again, I want to thank you for joining me. It's been a wonderful weekend. I hope you all out there have had a wonderful week. I know that Friday is the end of the work week for a lot of us, or a lot of you all out there. And so I'm glad to have you join me on this conversation. And today I'm going to be discussing Black History. This is the celebration of Black History Month program. I dedicated this Friday to celebrate Black History Month. As you all know, February is Black History Month. And so I just wanted to highlight some things and just talk about some notable people within Black history, and to share some Black history quotes, and also share my perspective on Black History Month and what it means to me. And I want to know from y'all out there, what does Black History Month mean to you? And so again, I just want to thank you for joining me on this wonderful program today on Hot Chocolate Conversations. I'm your host, V. Mail, aka Mo Thoughts, airing on the wonderful Endure Entertainment Network. We have all kinds of wonderful programming on this wonderful platform. I want to give a shout out to the one and only, the Lady Falana, who is the CEO and founder of Endure Entertainment. And so you want to make sure you tune in for great programming. We have awesome programming, so just check it out. There's a lot of wonderful programs on this wonderful platform. And also, I want to make this announcement. I will be on the music festival. I want to tell y'all about the music festival that's going on February 26th. It's actually this upcoming Sunday, so you want to make sure you check it out. The music festival hosted by Endure Entertainment. I am going to be there as a poet. I'm going to be doing some spoken word pieces, as well as the one and only Laurie D. Edwards, award-winning Laurie D. Edwards. I want to give a shout out to Laurie D. Edwards. He is a very awesome, talented, gifted artist, very humble. He supports, he promotes. He's like literally the hardest working man in entertainment, in music. So y'all make sure you, watch this wonderful music festival. And then Latrice Crawford, who has a beautiful, amazing voice. She is a awesome, beautiful, amazing, gifted, talented singer. And she is going to be on there as well. So I want y'all to make sure y'all tune in to the music festival. It's going to be on Facebook. You'll be able to, tune in from the comfort of your home. And it's only $5. I mean, you can't beat that. You'll be in the comfort of your own home, and then you'll be able to watch quality, clean entertainment. It doesn't get much better than that. And I also want to make this announcement. I am going to be giving away 2 tickets. So those that comment on this show, if you join in the conversation, I will have a ticket for you to join the show, to be able to enjoy this wonderful show. we've got to keep the arts alive. The arts is wonderful. The arts adds to everyday life. And we've got to uphold these wonderful artists that come out and they do poetry or sing or whatever. We've got to uphold the arts and, and support talented artists that are bringing forth quality music, that you can hear and incorporate in your everyday life. So I just wanted to make that announcement to you all today. Make sure you're tuning into this show today, Black History Month. This is the celebration of Black history, but I wanted to make this announcement to you all today. And I want to thank all my supporters for tuning in and supporting this wonderful show. I thank you so much. If you want to donate, you can definitely donate. So to help, keep this great content going, keeping the conversation going. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. And I wanted to make that announcement to you all today. Please make sure you tune in to the music festival that is going to be this Sunday. I'm going to reiterate it again. This Sunday, February 26th at 8 p.m. You do not want to miss it. Okay. So the first 3 people that comment on this broadcast, that share this broadcast, I will have a ticket for you. So I just want to thank you all so much for tuning in and supporting your girl V Mayo. That's me, aka Mo Thoughts. And so thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to Lady D. Thank you so much for your support. Awesome supporter. And Boss Lady Radio over there, they're doing awesome things over there. I always enjoy listening to that platform as well. They're playing awesome, amazing artists over there. Oh my God, it's so amazing. I love listening to that show. And the award-winning artist, Laurie D. Edwards, he be on there too. So y'all need to make sure y'all check out Laurie D. Edwards. I got to give a shout out once again to Laurie D. Edwards. He is always out there making it happen and sharing his gift and sharing other people and promoting. So, I like to give credit where credit is due and honor and, support those, that are supporting. And, to those of y'all out there that support, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. So today's show, I'm going to get on with today's show. It is about Black history. This is the celebration of Black History Month program. And I want to thank you for joining in the celebration. I personally believe that Black history is very important history, and Black history is American history. Now, when I was growing up in school, when I was going to school, I really didn't like other kinds of history. When I was in elementary school, we studied, world history, the Civil War, and all those other kind of histories. But it was something about when they talked about Black history, I began to come alive because I identified with that more than I did the world history or European history or the U.S. history that they present, in the schools and stuff like that. So, I did learn some things in school, but it wasn't until I got out of school that I learned so much more that I did not learn in the public schools, like in elementary school and in middle school and then in high school. In high school, we studied political science in the 9th grade. And then I think 10th grade was world history. And I used to fall asleep during world history. That was just not my favorite kind of history. It just was not, because I felt like I couldn't relate to it. I mean, I would fill out the worksheets and read the book and all that, and it just did not appeal to me. But I had to learn it to pass the 10th grade and go on to the next grade. So I did what I had to do. I liked when they talked about Africa and stuff like that, I identified with that. And then the 11th grade was U.S. history. I liked U.S. history because at least it was like about what's going on in the U.S., what they chose to present in the school, what they chose to present in the books and in the textbooks. And so they really started from like history, like they started from the slavery to like the civil rights movement. And that is as much Black American history that I knew about in school. So my eyes were open when I began to learn more things you know, as far as spiritually wise, how it relates to the spiritual, you know, the church, and even, you know, in history, in society, and the major part that Black history plays in America, and not just in America, but around the world. So I'm just highlighting Black History Month, and just kind of letting y'all know what it means to me. And I want to know from y'all out there, what does Black American history mean to you all? And so, you know, it's a celebration, uplifting Black history. And I'm going to share some notable, you know, today, you know, I got my notes, y'all know I got my notes, so I can bring some substance and bring some validity to the program. And, you know, it's a celebration, but I still want to kind of educate as well, you know, and kind of inform. So I'm just going to highlight some notable Black history figures. So if you just bear with me, I had it in my notes. Because again, this is the celebration. So, you know, I'm just gonna kind of give a general, you know, thing of just highlighting maybe 4 or 5, you know, major people that mean a lot, you know, personally, you know, and you all in the chat, y'all can, you know, join in the conversation, and, you know, put who y'all admire as far as notable figures in Black history, you know, who, you know, and what notable events that, you know, that are important to you. Now, me, I like Juneteenth. Now, I didn't know much about Juneteenth, and I know Juneteenth is a holiday now. But when I was growing up, I didn't know anything about Juneteenth until I started going to the Juneteenth festival. When I was like, I think it was like 20 years ago in Charlotte, when I started going to the Juneteenth festival. Now, I had no idea what the Juneteenth meant until I actually started listening to when they would talk about the history of what Juneteenth means. And Juneteenth is a part of Black history as well. You know, I know it has its own thing and its own holiday, but I'm just kind of bringing it in because it's a part of Black history as well. This is when I believe the slaves found out that they were free or something of that nature. But that's a gist of Juneteenth. That'll be another show back in, you know, in June. But, you know, I'm just kind of highlighting it because it is a part of Black history. And, you know, I asked myself the question, okay, now that I have a gist and understanding of what Juneteenth is, how come I never learned about it in school? They never said anything about Juneteenth. All the years of me going to school, it was never in the textbooks, and it was not in, you know, in discussions of the history. Even when they would talk about slavery, you know, in that time, there was no mention of Juneteenth. So, but anyway, I'm glad that I know more about my history now than I did before. And now, because of, you know, I can seek out things, learn things on my own. When I was in school, I had to learn what they wanted me to learn because, you know, it was like, well, I had to learn certain things in order to pass those history classes and those political classes and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, again, put in the chat, you know, what are some notable figures, you know, and be thinking about figures that, you know, mean a lot to you, or certain events in Black history that you feel like that speaks to you the most. And of course, I'm going to start with Dr. Martin Luther King. We all know the impact that Dr. Martin Luther King made and his peaceful approach to bringing equality. So I just wanted to highlight Dr. King as well. And some other people I will mention. Of course, Malcolm X. Now, Malcolm X, I want to highlight him. He had a more radical approach, a more in-your-face radical approach, but he he was very vocal about what he believed and passionate about what he believed. So I'm also taking this time to highlight Malcolm X as well. And Dorothy Height. We cannot forget Dorothy Height. And she's hailed as the godmother of the women's movement. Height used her background in education and social work to advance women's rights. She was a leader in the Young Women's Christian Association and the president of the National Council of Negro Women for more than 40 years. She was also among the few women present at the 1963 March on Washington, where Dr. King delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Now, I know y'all know about that "I Have a Dream" speech. I mean, that was awesome. He was really prolific and a prophetic orator. He really spoke some truth in the "I Have a Dream" speech. So see how that is all connected. I spoke about Dr. Martin Luther King, and then Dorothy Height. You know, she was at the march on Washington in 1963. And there's so many notable people. Gwendolyn Brooks. Yes, let me tell y'all, I love the poet Gwendolyn Brooks. I'm a poet and a writer, and Gwendolyn Brooks is one of my favorite poets. I've got to highlight her. We got to highlight those poets that have contributed to Black history as well. And so says today, Brooks is considered to be one of the most revered poets of the 20th century. She was the first Black author to win a Pulitzer Prize in 1950 for Annie Allen, and she served as a poetry consultant to the Library of Congress, becoming the first Black woman to hold a position. She also was the poet laureate of the state of Illinois, and many of her works reflected the political and the social landscape of the 1960s, including the civil rights movement and the economic climate. See how poets, shout out to the poets out here. Shout out to my fellow poets out here. You're, especially those of color, y'all are making a difference. We're all making a difference. Poets are messengers. Poets make a difference with their poetry and their art. So I just want to give a shout out to the poets that are out there. See how Gwendolyn Brooks made a difference with her poetry, and it affected, you know, the political and economic arenas. See the influence that she had through her poetry, through her art. And I'm going to name about two more. And of course, we cannot forget one of my other favorite poets, Dr. Maya Angelou. She is absolutely, hands down, one of my favorite poets. I mean, I listen to her work on a regular basis. I've got to highlight her on this show, okay? She is, to me, one of the best that's ever did it. I mean, Dr. Maya Angelou, my favorite poem is Phenomenal Woman and Still I Rise. That is one of my favorite poems of Dr. Maya Angelou. We cannot let this celebration of Black History Month go by without mentioning the queen, the one and only Dr. Maya Angelou. Okay, so I'm also highlight a music artist, Minnie Riperton. Mariah Carey is heralded for her whistle register, which is the highest human voice is capable of reaching, but Riperton perfected the singing technique years before it was best known for her 5-octave range. The whistling can be heard on her biggest hit to date, Loving You, an infectious ballad that was originally created as an ode to her daughter, Maya Rudolph, of Bridesmaids and Saturday Night Live fame. However, before she became a household name, she died of breast cancer at the age of 31. So, you know, we just need to take a moment and remember Minnie Riperton. I mean, may she continue to rest in peace. I've heard that song before, and that's one of my favorite songs. I mean, she did the thing. I mean, her range was just amazing, and it's so unfortunate that she did not get to, you know, live out seeing the success of her using her art and her voice, her gifted, you know, the fact that she was a gifted artist and singer, you know, and it's so unfortunate. So may she continue to rest in peace. But I just also wanted to highlight her as well, a musical artist that made such a difference through her voice and her singing and her range. And also one more person I'm going to mention that I want to highlight is Mae Jemison. Dr. Mae Jemison isn't just the first African-American woman who orbited into space aboard the shuttle Endeavour, but also is a physician. Okay, listen to it, a physician, a teacher, a Peace Corps volunteer. After her work in NASA, she founded the Jemison Group, which developed scientific and technological advancements. Jemison continues to work towards helping young women of color get more involved in technology, engineering, and math careers. Let us not overlook that that particular arena. Technology, engineering, and math. There are lots of women who are in those fields, and those are very important fields as well. And the fact that she was groundbreaking in being essential in these fields, and she opened the door for others, for other women of color to get into technology, engineering, and math, which are very, very, very important careers. I wish I knew math. I need a math tutor. Shout out to the math tutors out there. I'm about to go back to school, so I'm going to need all the help I can get when it comes to math. Okay, pray for my brain cells, because in school I did not like math, but I know math is important. I know how to count money and add, subtract, and divide and all of that. So, but yeah, Dr. Mae Jemison. So these are just a few of the notable people that I wanted to highlight on this celebration of Black History Month. It was fitting to do this since we're in the month of February and this is Black History Month, and I wanted to just give honor where honor is due to those that have came before us, and even those who are still making history today, who is still in, you know, we got to give a shout out to LeBron James. That's a notable person I want to mention of today's time. He has done so many things. I mean, he's a billionaire now. He gives back to his community. I mean, my goodness. And he builds schools. He's out there making a difference. LeBron James is not just talking about it. He's being about it. He's using his influence and using where he is in life to give back to the community. And I think it's important that those that are at a certain place or whatever, they give back to the community. And I want to also highlight, you know, even people in my community of Charlotte, North Carolina, who are making a difference, who may not be seen on the national stage, who are making a difference. I want to give a shout out to Chuck Brown. He is the founder of Single, Save, and Serious. And he is a community person out here. And he's doing amazing things. He had a heart for singles. Him and his now wife, Judy Brown. Shout out to Judy Brown and Brandon Chuck Brown. They're making a difference right here in their community. These are examples of people that are making a difference in their community. They might not be known nationally, but they're known in Charlotte. And they're known by enough people to know that they're making a difference in their community. And so that's Black history. They're making history. They wanted to build a network and a rapport for those and encourage singles who were, you know, godly Christian singles, singles of faith, to be able to develop and have relationships as well, and to, you know how to navigate from being single to married and things like that. So again, shout out to Brandon Chuck Brown of Single, Save, and Serious. And well, I guess it's going on, but it was going on. But I still know them from Single, Save, and Serious. And he does a lot for the community. He gives back to the community. He is very, very involved. So I want to give a shout out to my hometown people real quick. I'm just using this segment of the show to give a shout out because these are people that are making history right here in their communities. Also want to give a shout out to Greg Jackson. Okay. He made history in 2017 when he, you know, was protesting and things like that. Was it, I don't want to get the, you know, when what happened, I think it was the Keith Lamont thing or whatever that happened, not whatever, but what happened back then. And he used his passion to make a difference. And so he started Heal Charlotte, and it's doing very well. So I got to give a shout out to the brother, Greg Jackson. He's making history right here in Charlotte. He's giving back to his community, making sure people house and giving back to the youth. Let's just talk about that for a minute, okay? He is reaching out to the next generation. That's a brother that's here in Charlotte that's making a difference. He might not be on the national stage yet, but he will be because he's got amazing music out there too. Faith-based music that'll make you want to, you know what I'm saying? Like he's got it going on with that, okay? So y'all need to check out Mr. Greg Jackson, okay? He's got the what is that song that I like so much? Well, he got the newest song, A Whole Lot of Jesus. And then he has another song, What God Loves. And there was another song. What was the name of that song? Living for God. Yes, Living for God. That was the first song he came out with. So he gonna be on that national stage. Shout out to you, Mr. Greg Jackson. You are making history. You are involved in this celebration of Black history. I got to give you a shout out because you're making history every day. He's making history by reaching out to the youth. And I also got to give a shout out to the one and only Beverly Knox Davis in Charlotte, Brighter Day Ministries. She's making a difference. She has a heart for the youth and she gives back to her community as well. And I'm going to link these people. I'm going to link these people in the comments so you can reach out to these people or know about their organizations. Because they're making history. I just had to use this segment of the show. You know, when I started talking about community, you know, and stuff like that, I had to highlight people that may not be on the national stage, but they are making a difference. They are making history. See, just like they're making history, you're making history also. You're touching people's lives. All of us being here and thriving and doing well in various arenas. We're making a difference. You know, we're here as a result of others that have came before us, and we're able to go into things and to do things, you know, and have opportunities because of those that have came before us. And now it's up to us to pick up the torch and to be able to do that. Also, I cannot forget this wonderful, wonderful lady, Deborah Denise. Want to give a shout out to her. She's making history by also giving back to her community. Block Love Charlotte. I'm a link. I'm gonna have it in the description. They are doing amazing things. They are giving back to those who are in transition. You know, we cannot forget about those who are in transition. And she's making history every day. She's been, her and her awesome team over there at Block Love Charlotte, they've been doing amazing things by giving, and I'm talking about she goes above and beyond. You know, her and her team, not only helping people get fed, but making sure people get housed as well, you know? So they're making history. This is celebration of Black History Month. And I had to mention these people because, yeah, okay, I might be mentioning people that we all know, but there's people every day. There's somebody that you know that's making history every single day by doing what they do. So we're all important in this thing. We're all, as a collective, making history every day and involved in this Black celebration of Black History Month. I just had to definitely, you know, highlight those people that are making a difference in the community in which I live. And I know that there's others that are in your community as well that is making a difference. Shout out to also the Bonita Show. She's making a difference in Delaware. Also Hassan, I don't want to get his name wrong, up in New York. I got to give a shout out to the big brother. He's one of my Facebook friends. Shout out to Hassan. He is doing amazing things up in New York. He's making a difference up there. I see him doing amazing things. He's making history. He's reaching out to the community and doing amazing things. So shout out to you, Hassan. Shout out to you, big brother. You are making history and you are involved in this celebration. I just had to highlight wonderful people that are doing amazing things, and also to highlight you as well. Those of you that are watching this show, you are important as well. The fact that you're here, the fact that you're thriving, the fact that you're doing what you're doing in your respective fields. Whatever area it is, you know, whether it's the arts, whether it's music, whether it's math, technology, engineering, healthcare, whatever field you're in, you are a part of history. You're making history every day by making a difference. So again, I want to thank y'all for joining me on this special edition of Hot Chocolate Conversations, where today we have been discussing celebration of Black history. It's a celebration. And I'm going to leave you with some quotes, with some Black history quotes. Of course, you know I got my notes. So, okay. So these are some quotes that I wanted to leave you with, something to think about, because I want to, you know, leave y'all educated or with something that you could take and think about and stuff like that. So these quotes, I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. Rosa Parks. This is a quote by Rosa Parks. All right, so this next quote: every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passions to reach for the stars and to change the world. This is a quote by Harriet Tubman. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the change we seek. Barack Obama. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. Muhammad Ali. Never be limited by other people's limited imaginations. Dr. Mae Jemison. For I am my mother's daughter, and the drums of Africa still beat in my heart. Mary McLeod Bethune. And here's another quote that I'm going to, Oprah Winfrey. Well, I'm going to share the one by Michael Jordan. I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I almost lost 300 games 26 times. I've been trusted to take the game winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life. That is why I succeed. Michael Jordan. So he, you know, is basically saying that he just kept going. And, you know, he's considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And here's this last quote by Oprah Winfrey. One of the hardest things in life to learn are what bridges to cross and which bridges to burn. Oprah Winfrey. So I just wanted to share with y'all some wonderful quotes, Black history quotes in honor of Black History Month. This has been the celebration of Black History Month program special edition. Okay. And I also wanted to credit the article, 31 History Making Black Americans Everyone Should Know. This is from oprahdaily.com. I will post the link in the description so you can check out that article and see all the artists, the notable figures that are on there, that you can know, because history, we need to not only know our history, but also continue to make the fact that we're here, we're making history as well. So I want to thank y'all for joining me for this wonderful program. Thank you for tuning in. This has been a special edition of the celebration of Black History Month, the Black History Month celebration. This is your girl V Mayo, aka Mo Thoughts. And also I just want to let y'all know, those that comment on this particular live, the first 2 people, I will make sure you get a ticket to the music festival. That's going to be February 26th at 8 p.m. hosted by Endure Entertainment. And so at 8 p.m. So make sure you check it out. It's going to be awesome artists. I will be there doing poetry. Latrice Crawford will be singing, and the award-winning artist Laurie D. Edwards will be performing as well. You do not want to miss this epic historical show. Thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.